Fake out Precedent. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has consistently demonstrated that death is rarely permanent. In Thor, Loki appeared to die falling into an abyss in 2011, only to return for the Avengers. Nick Fury faked his death in Captain America: The Winter Soldier in 2014 using medication to lower his heart rate. Phil Coulson was stabbed by Loki in The Avengers in 2012 and declared dead by Fury, yet he was resurrected in Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D. Bucky Barnes seemed to die in Captain America: The First Avenger in 2011, but returned as the Winter Soldier in 2014. Pepper Potts appeared to perish in Iron Man 3 in 2013, before the Extremis serum revealed her survival. These established patterns create legitimate foundations for questioning whether other character deaths might be reversible. The possibility exists because Marvel has repeatedly proven that what appears final often isn't. Loki's illusion. One persistent theory claims Loki didn't actually die when Thanos choked him in Avengers: Infinity War. Fans analyzing the opening scene of the 2018 film notice compelling visual evidence. Throughout the Marvel Cinematic Universe, Loki consistently uses his right hand, but during the stabbing attempt against Thanos, he uses his left hand. In Thor: The Dark World, when Loki fakes his death, he similarly uses his left hand with the dagger, creating a mirrored, illusory version. The theory gained credibility when Avengers: Endgame and the Loki series confirmed he survived by escaping with the Tesseract during the time heist. While the specific mechanism differs from the theory, fans correctly predicted his survival based on visual clues. The possibility remains that the Infinity War death was another elaborate deception, as Loki's pattern of faking deaths makes any apparent demise questionable. Tony's backup. A Reddit theory proposes that Tony Stark didn't truly die in Avengers: Endgame, but instead uploaded his consciousness to an artificial intelligence backup. The theory originated by analyzing the post-death hologram scene where Tony addresses Pepper and Morgan. Supporters note that the hologram demonstrates perfect eye contact and awareness of the room, suggesting it wasn't pre-recorded but rather a live artificial intelligence consciousness. Precedent exists in Marvel Comics through the Ironheart storyline from 2015 to 2017, where Tony Stark's consciousness transferred into artificial intelligence after he became comatose. In the comics, artificial intelligence Tony mentored Riri Williams and created her Ironheart armor. The Marvel Cinematic Universe already established this concept through Vision, created by Tony using the Mind Stone, proving he understood consciousness to artificial intelligence transfer. The theory suggests Tony could have used the Mind Stone as a mechanism for transferring his consciousness before death. With an Ironheart movie in development and rumors of Robert Downey Jr. appearing in Avengers: Doomsday in 2026, the possibility exists that Marvel is setting up Tony's return as an artificial intelligence mentor figure. Steve's Moon. The Falcon and the Winter Soldier introduced a peculiar theory when Joaquin Torres mentioned rumors that Steve Rogers lives on a secret moon base. Sam Wilson dismissed it but didn't deny it, later responding he's doing moon stuff before flying away. The Marvel Cinematic Universe never explicitly confirms Steve's death, only that he's gone. Comic precedent exists where Steve Rogers becomes the Unseen, observing Earth from a higher plane. The Watchers and Uatu connections in the Marvel Cinematic Universe establish precedent for characters monitoring from space. The deliberate inclusion of moon-related dialogue in a show specifically about Steve's absence suggests either clever foreshadowing or an inside joke that could become a plot device. The possibility exists because Marvel keeps Steve's fate intentionally vague, rather than confirming his death. Chris Evans hasn't ruled out a Marvel Cinematic Universe return, leaving space for this theory to eventually become canon, if Marvel chooses to explore it. Soul Archive. A theory suggests that multiple character consciousnesses might be trapped or archived within the Soul Stone itself. A deleted Endgame scene shows adult Morgan in the Soul Stone domain, confirmed by multiple sources. Thanos encountered young Gamora in the Soul Stone on Vormir after sacrificing her. Hulk encountered Natasha's consciousness when collecting the Soul Stone. The theory proposes that the Soul Stone preserves the consciousness or soul of those who encounter it or are sacrificed to it. This explains why encounters with consciousness occur repeatedly throughout the films. Comics precedent shows the Soul Stone preserving consciousness in various storylines. Possibility exists that future Doctor Strange or other sorcerers could retrieve archived souls. With multiverse and time manipulation established in the Marvel Cinematic Universe, resurrection using archived consciousness data becomes theoretically possible. The Soul Stone's demonstrated capacity to preserve and present consciousness creates a plausible in-universe mechanism for bringing back characters, though Marvel has never confirmed whether archived consciousnesses can be retrieved. Vision's question. WandaVision left Vision's true status profoundly ambiguous. Original Vision was killed by Thanos in Infinity War in 2018, when the Mind Stone was ripped from his chest. In WandaVision in 2021, Wanda creates Hex Vision within the Westview anomaly, while Sword creates White Vision using Vision's body and scan data. The finale shows Hex Vision unlocking and transferring all memories and consciousness stored within White Vision's original body before the Hex collapses. White Vision declares, "I am Vision," then flies away. The philosophical question remains whether consciousness persists through memory transfer, or if White Vision is simply a copy containing original Vision's memories. White Vision hasn't appeared since WandaVision as of 2026, supporting the theory that Vision remains deceased with only his memories living on in a new body. The unanswered question of White Vision's current location maintains this as an open plot thread. Gamora's survival. Gamora appeared to escape Avengers Endgame's final snap, leading to theories about how she survived when other Thanos associates were eliminated. The 2018 Gamora was sacrificed on Vormir to obtain the Soul Stone in Infinity War. The 2014 Gamora was brought to the present by 2023 Thanos during the Endgame time heist. This earlier Gamora turned against Thanos and switched to the Avengers side. When Tony snapped Thanos' gauntlet, 2014 Gamora survived despite being on Thanos' army side. The theory proposes that Soulstone logic determined she was no longer part of Thanos' forces to be eliminated because she changed allegiance. Guardians of the Galaxy Volume 3 in 2023 confirmed older Gamora survived and joined the Ravagers. The possibility that allegiance change protected her from the snap demonstrates how unclear the snap's targeting mechanisms were, though Marvel essentially confirmed this theory through the film's events. Fury's identity. Nick Fury's supposed death in The Winter Soldier was revealed as a fake-out when he took medication to lower his heart rate. However, Secret Invasion in 2023 introduced a more disturbing question about whether the real Nick Fury is still alive or has been replaced by Skrulls. The series reveals Skrulls have infiltrated high levels of government and SHIELD, with Talos and other Skrulls impersonating humans for years. Fury was captured and imprisoned by Skrulls for an extended period during Secret Invasion. The possibility exists that current Fury might not be original Fury, as Skrull replacement is possible. The Marvels in 2023 questioned whether the character appearing is real Fury or a Skrull replacement. Fury's erratic behavior in Secret Invasion raises questions about authenticity. The real Fury's current location and status remained unresolved by the series' end, maintaining speculation about his true identity and creating mystery that could fuel future plot threads. Natasha's prison. Natasha Romanoff's sacrifice on Vormir seemed permanent and irreversible, but theories suggest a soul for a soul might work bidirectionally. Natasha sacrificed herself on Vormir to obtain the Soul Stone in Endgame in 2019. Red Skull stated the price is a soul for a soul, an irreversible exchange. The possibility exists that the exchange might function bidirectionally, allowing soul retrieval with proper cost. Comics Precedent shows Black Widow resurrected through Red Room cloning technology with mind transfer. The Black Widow film in 2021 was set before her Endgame death, but doesn't contradict resurrection possibility. A deleted Endgame scene shows Hulk encountering Natasha's presence within the Soul Stone. The theory proposes that consciousness preserved in the Soul Stone could be retrieved and transferred to a cloned body or new vessel. The Red Room still exists in the Marvel Cinematic Universe with cloning and consciousness transfer technology. Marvel Studios officially confirmed her death for now, leaving open future resurrection possibility through this mechanism. By the way, if you're into this kind of content, I make videos like this all the time. Subscribing would really help me out. Wanda's Flash. Despite Marvel officially confirming Scarlet Witch's death in Doctor Strange Multiverse of Madness, theories persist that Wanda could be alive. Wanda was apparently crushed by falling rocks at Mount Wundagore in 2022. A red burst occurred, but nobody was shown on screen. Marvel Studios' official timeline book from 2023 confirmed her death, stating Wanda destroys Wundagore and collapses it upon herself. The possibility exists because the no body shown trope and Marvel's pattern suggests survival. Chaos Magic Precedent establishes Wanda as one of the most powerful beings in the universe. Her magic could have protected her, allowed escape, or transported her elsewhere. The multiverse aspect means that even if dead in Earth 616, Agatha All Along, in 2024, features references to Wanda's death, but leaves resurrection questions open. Fans cite her powers scale as sufficient to prevent death by falling rock, making survival theoretically possible. Strange's corpse. After defeating evil Doctor Strange in Multiverse of Madness, Strange possessed the corpse to escape Mount Wundagore, then left it behind. Strange killed his Earth 838 variant in the climactic battle. The corpse was left behind at destroyed Mount Wundagore after the climax. The possibility exists that this corpse could be discovered and resurrected, or animated by a future villain. It could become a zombie Strange, or be possessed by Mephisto. The parallel to Wanda's abandoned body suggests Marvel might be setting up future resurrection plots. No Marvel Cinematic Universe follow-up has addressed the corpse's fate as of 2026. The theory proposes this could set up a Strange villain for future Doctor Strange projects, though Marvel has provided no indication whether they plan to address this dangling plot thread. Eternals mechanics. Eternals in 2021 establishes that Eternals have extended lifespans and regenerative abilities, but can die permanently if their molecular structure is sufficiently compromised. Tiamat was sacrificed and petrified by Cersei and others to prevent emergence. Ajax was killed by Icarus, with death appearing permanent. Possibility exists that Eternals could be resurrected through molecular reconstruction by other Eternals. Comics Precedent shows Eternals can be resurrected under specific circumstances. Tiamat's petrified form remains on Earth as a dormant Eternal. The theory proposes that petrification isn't death but stasis, which could potentially be reversed. No subsequent Marvel Cinematic Universe project confirms whether dead Eternals could return. The film introduced a different death framework where permanence depends on molecular integrity, creating narrative space for resurrection without contradicting established deaths. Red Skull's escape. Red Skull has been permanently trapped on Vormir as the Soul Stone's guardian, but theories question whether he might escape now that the Soul Stone has been used. Red Skull was transported to Vormir in Captain America: The First Avenger in 2011. He was bound to the Soul Stone as Eternal Guardian, confirmed in Infinity War. He was present on Vormir in both Infinity War and Endgame. The possibility exists that with the Soul Stone used and moved, Red Skull's guardianship might end, allowing escape from Vormir prison. No Marvel Cinematic Universe follow-up addresses Red Skull's current status as of 2026. He never appeared in Marvel Cinematic Universe projects after Endgame, though the multiverse allows variants. Red Skull's unresolved status creates an interesting plot hole about whether he's still on Vormir, or if the stone's removal freed him from the curse. Multiverse Loophole. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's introduction of the multiverse creates a fundamental loophole in death theories. Doctor Strange, Multiverse of Madness in 2022, establishes multiverse variants of all characters exist. America Chavez travels between universes and can extract people from alternate realities. The multiverse saga shows characters pulled from variants timelines, as seen with future Spider-Man in No Way Home. The possibility exists that any deceased character could have surviving variant versions pulled into the main timeline via portal, alternate timeline incursion, or reality manipulation. This establishes a narrative mechanism for bringing back any character if desired. Applied to Tony Stark, Natasha, Gamora, Wanda, or any deceased character, the multiverse essentially negates the permanence of any Marvel Cinematic Universe death. If infinite universes exist, every dead character is alive somewhere, making all death theories simultaneously valid, since variants could exist regardless. Bucky's scheduling. Recent casting news suggests Bucky Barnes might die in Avengers Doomsday, based on Sebastian Stan's scheduling conflicts. Stan is set to appear in Avengers Doomsday in December 2026, but was recently cast in The Batman Part 2, which begins filming in May 2026. This overlaps with Avengers Secret Wars filming scheduled for mid-2026, ahead of its December 2027 release. The possibility exists that Stan cannot film two projects simultaneously, suggesting Bucky won't survive Doomsday to appear in Secret Wars. Bucky first appeared in Captain America: The First Avenger in 2011 and has been one of the longest-standing characters in the franchise. His death would resonate with audiences, given his history and relationship with Steve Rogers. While scheduling conflicts don't guarantee character death, fans theorize this casting choice indicates Marvel plans to kill Bucky in Doomsday, making him unable to return for Secret Wars due to Stan's commitments elsewhere. Taskmaster's return. Marvel Cinematic Universe star Olga Kurylenko teased that her Taskmaster may return despite her character's death in Thunderbolts in 2025. Taskmaster was killed early in the movie when Ghost shot her in the head, taking her out in the early portion of the film. Speaking with Deadline, Kurylenko addressed story changes that led to Antonia Dreykov being killed off, stating there were too many characters. However, she made clear that you just never die with Marvel, suggesting resurrection remains possible. The possibility exists because Marvel has established patterns of bringing back characters through various means. Originally introduced in Black Widow in 2021, Kurylenko's Taskmaster returned for her second appearance only to be killed early. Multiple creatives spoke about how difficult it was to kill off Taskmaster, especially so early in the film. The actress's comments and Marvel's history of resurrections leave open the possibility that Taskmaster could return in future projects, despite her apparent death. Foggy's demise. Daredevil, Born Again shocked fans when Foggy Nelson died in the opening moments of Episode 1 titled Heaven's Half Hour in 2025. Eldon Henson returned as Foggy Nelson after appearing in Netflix's Daredevil series. Fans expected him to have a crucial role in the revived series. However, returning villain Bullseye killed Foggy at the hands of Wilson Fisk's forces. The possibility exists that Foggy's death might not be permanent because the Marvel Cinematic Universe has resurrected characters before through various means. The death was one of the most shocking moments in 2025 Marvel projects. Given that Marvel has established patterns of bringing back characters through various means, the possibility remains that Marvel could reverse Foggy's death through mystical means or reveal it was misdirection, though nothing in the series has yet suggested this will occur. Theory importance. These death theories reveal how the Marvel Cinematic Universe has fundamentally changed what death means in storytelling. The Marvel Cinematic Universe has established a clear pattern where major character deaths often aren't permanent. Resurrection methods vary through time travel, alternate timelines, soul preservation, cloning technology. Fan theorizing has become collaborative media analysis and a prediction engine. The possibility exists that theories influence actual Marvel Cinematic Universe storytelling, as the Loki theory was validated by future canon. Death theories reflect audience investment in characters and demand for satisfying conclusions. The Marvel Cinematic Universe's narrative complexity now requires multiple interpretations of single events. Multiverse introduction expanded resurrection possibilities exponentially. As of 2026, the Marvel Cinematic Universe has resurrected more characters than it has permanently killed, suggesting Marvel values character legacy over death stakes. These theories aren't just speculation, but rather informed analysis of how Marvel approaches character mortality. If you found this interesting, consider subscribing so you catch every new video. Thanks for watching.